What's going on, y'all? Today we got Nick Wright is lying about Michael Jordan again. And I've been hearing about Nick Wright, man. Hearing about him in this GOAT debate. His takes been real bold, real egregious. And it's about that time we finally check it out, y'all. I just want to see what he been talking about. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, though. But if he's being a little biased, a little unfair, I will call it out. I'm that guy, you know. You better be fair, man. You got to be fair, in my opinion. If you're not fair, I'm gonna call it out.
So Nick Wright decided to put out his top 50 players in the last 50 years, and a lot of people got upset that Michael Jordan was number 3.
Number 3 is ridiculous.
Can't really expect much else from Nick Wright, but he is going to explain himself, so let's hear him out.
You can make a legitimate argument for 3 guys as the GOAT. LeBron, MJ, and Kareem. So a guy who could be the best ever is going to be, on some people's list, the 3rd best ever. Why do I have Kareem ahead of Michael Jordan? He did so much more in the league. I've heard Kevin Wildes and others say, well, yeah, LeBron's 10 trips to the finals. If he had 6 rings with those 10 trips, then that would be more impressive than Jordan's 6 rings and 6 trips. Well, that's Kareem. 10 trips to the finals with 6 rings, and by the way, also 6 MVPs.
Okay, I was about to say something, but I'm gonna let him keep going because, boy, this is already off to a very shaky start. Jeez.
What about scoring, which is what Jordan did best? Well, Kareem had the most unstoppable shot in NBA history. He also set the record for most points in a career before I was born and holds it to this day. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was first or second team All-NBA, 15 seasons. Michael Jordan did not play 15 complete seasons. What about as an old guy? Michael Jordan at 40 years old averaged 20 points per game for another 37-win Wizards. Kareem at 40 years old averaged 22 points per game in the finals. And at 41, in a game 6, had the final play of the game drawn for him, hit 2 free throws, forced the game 7, won another championship.
Let's stop right there because there's a lot of things that is definitely not proper context into this. He is
the context, you know that word.
Just to try to make the case. Yes, is it true that Kareem has 6 championships and 10 trips? Absolutely. However, was he the best player in those 6 championships? Well, no. He only has 2 Finals MVPs. And Nick Wright knows this. The difference between Michael and LeBron and everyone else is that they were able to stay the best player on their team and still compete at a high level. So when you sit here and hear Nick Wright try to tell people about, oh, well, Kareem, he did this thing when he was 40 years old. Yeah, what was he doing? What was he doing in those 6 championships? And that 6th ring, actually, let's go check it out. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar averaged
let's go check it out.
13 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a block, and shot 41% from the field. You have the ability to bring up all of these numbers when it comes to LeBron when he loses. You are the numbers guy. You're the guy who introduced context, right? You're that guy. But then when it comes to Kareem, you're just blatantly going over rings, which is a ring culture that you have constantly been fighting against for basically your existence within a major media market. Oh, well, no, he won 6 rings just like Michael. Who cares about the context? He got 6 rings. No, bro, this 6th ring was mid. It was garbage. Bro, look at the last 3 years in the playoffs when Kareem was averaging 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2 steals, shooting below 50% from the field as a big. I get it. He's 39, 40, 41. But if he needed to play that long just to get the same amount of rings as Michael Jordan, and when he did so, these are the numbers he was posting up, you tell me what's more impressive. Yeah, for a 40-year-old, some of these numbers look solid. But the argument isn't for a 40-year-old who's the best, who's the greatest player of all time. It's just period. Who was the greatest player? And Kareem, the tail of his career, when he was still racking up these accomplishments that you believe make this a close conversation, bro, he wasn't putting up no numbers. He wasn't having that same type of impact. Stop it.
Year 2, by the way, Kareem won Finals MVP, League MVP, greatest season arguably ever, 66 wins. Michael was swept in round 1 and his team won 30 games. What about...
Once more, no context. To completely remove the fact that Michael Jordan was injured in his 2nd year and to sit there and say, oh, he got swept. Why are you?
That was the year he was injured too. I didn't even know that. Nah, he beat. Oh look, now you know this what. That boy is wild. He being mad unfair at this point. You know, on national television. I need a button. I need the stream deck so I could Damn, I need some buttons and some sound effects. I'm telling y'all, stay tuned.
They missed the playoffs. I'm pretty sure you're gonna slide that in there as well. When LeBron gets swept, you know the points, rebounds, the assists. You know how he scored. You know who was guarding him when he was scoring. You know all these numbers and facts. Michael, he got swept. He got swept. Who cares? He got swept.
What about pre-youth? And again, it's college and high school doesn't count here, but when it's this close, we're gonna throw it in.
What? What are we doing right now?
He said, nah, well, this coach gonna throw it in. Nah, he's wilding right now.
You are talking about we're about to gauge these players based off before they were even in the NBA? Bro, that's how you know you're reaching.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in high school was 79-2. Michael Jordan in high school.
Talking about a high school.
From his team.
Nah. That's your argument, boy? Come on, bro. What? Come on, bro. What? That's what you trying to say right now? You talking about a high school basketball right now. Bro, oh my God, this guy is crazy.
Kareem, maybe
what did he do when he was 10?
Player. No, that's
it. Just keep going.
It.
Yes,
no, that's it.
Yeah, just keep going, nigga. What did he do when he was 10? What did he do when he was 12? What did he do when he was 8? Just keep going. Why stop there?
For real, though, like,
fuck it, right? Just keep going. What was he doing when he was 3 years old? Why stop? Nigga, this is the craziest reach I have ever seen in my life. Let me be clear. I don't think that it's absurd to say that Kareem is like the #1 greatest player of all time, right? If that is your GOAT, that's fine. It's just the inconsistencies that I see in a lot of people's arguments. So far, Nick Wright has been inconsistent because the way that I know and I've heard, and we've all heard him argue, the difference between LeBron and MJ, a lot of those things are applicable in favor of Michael Jordan over Kareem. But for whatever reason, it's conveniently not being brought up right now. But we'll see if it does.
You're wrong. You're flat out wrong. You're egregiously wrong. You're so wrong. From baby boomers to Generation X, Y, Z, Alpha, that's the new kids being born. They're all looking at this like, what? They're
Yeah, he's talking facts. My boy, he's talking facts right here. What's bro name? Someone let me know bro name so I can address him correctly. But he's talking facts. Cause you see me right now, like, what is bro talk? What is Nick talking about? What is he talking about?
Kids being born, they're all looking at this like, what? They're flummoxed. They're astounded. They're aghast.
I ain't gonna lie, this is why I can't watch shows like this. Like, there's an actual argument to why he's wrong, and instead of actually highlighting it, he's basically just saying, well, the overall consensus is this, so that's why you're wrong. Like, no, explain why he's wrong. You sitting here filibustering for like 2 minutes, saying nothing. It puts on this perception.
He did just go crazy.
Argument.
No
arguments he had to go back at it.
Agree with this. Has dominated the NBA like Michael Jordan has.
Bro, I hate when people just sit here and they use buzzwords. Oh, he was just so dominant. Oh my God, he's so dominant. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? The most entertaining, electrifying player. Like, y'all just sit here and say buzzwords that don't actually mean anything. What are you saying? Say something.
He wasn't winning. He only won it with Oscar and Magic. And then he missed the playoffs twice at the height of his powers. Yeah. Once in 1975 and 1976.
Yeah, once he broke his hand.
In those 2 years,
oh my! It's almost as if like I knew they were gonna say it. Yeah, he missed the playoffs one time because he broke his hand, which is true. But when he brought up the fact that Michael Jordan got swept and it didn't matter, he got swept. Nobody didn't sit
broken
here and say,
foot.
well, yeah, Michael Jordan had a bad seeding because he missed basically the entire regular season and forced his way back in before the playoffs could start, and that's how they ended up with that horrible regular season. None of that, context did not matter then. Kareem, they matter. So longevity really does not hold that much weight for Nick Wright. He's just making this up and talking out of his ass right now.
Jordan raised his scoring by 3 points, his rebounds and his assists in the playoffs. Kareem actually dropped slightly in points, rebounds, and blocks in the playoffs, but essentially it was the same as his regular season.
That's because the playoff stuff that was
I knew
unfair
but he was
because Jordan wasn't good enough. Hold on. Jordan wasn't good enough at age 40 to get to the playoffs. Kareem's first 12 years in the playoffs averaged a tidy 30, 16,
Bro is just
4, and 3.
chatting right
No,
now.
you can't. What? Your argument is longevity, and then what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Bro, your argument is longevity. You're gonna just conveniently cut out 8 years of Kareem's career to all of a sudden now adjust the argument. No, you would have to use those years. You would have to use them. FYI, even if Michael had made the playoffs in his Washington years and he was only averaging like 20 points in the postseason, bro, that would not have been enough for there to be as much as a drop as we've seen in Kareem's postseason career. So no, but you conveniently saying, "Oh no, let's stop." That's because he played so long. Your whole argument is that he's been playing so long. That's been your whole argument this entire time. So you have to take the good with the bad. So don't sit here and say he played so long. He got 15 All-NBAs, 6 championships.
I'm talking facts as well.
But then you want to cut out. Oh no. If we look at the first 12 years, if that's the case, then cut the last 2 or 3 championships off of his resume as well. And you still don't have an argument.
And when Kareem was most dominant individually,
Damn.
Nick, guess what? I'm surprised you didn't know this as a historian.
It's fake trash when they can't talk back though.
Half of the best players in the world were in the ABA. No Dr. J, George Gervin.
This is the reason why it's hard to take Nick Wright serious. Because if you ever heard Nick Wright talk, there's this one fundamental argument that he has, and I actually agree with him. Because there's definitely parts of Michael Jordan's career that we need to discuss. But for whatever reason, we don't discuss it. And so Nick Wright brings this up all the time. Why do we only talk about Michael Jordan's career as if it was only like 6 years? Why do we only talk about the 3 years and the 2-3-piece 6 years? Why don't we talk about the years before that? Why is it like? And that's a very fair argument. But when it came to Kareem, there's an 8-year gap that Nick Wright just completely forgot about. He just so happens. Oh man, I'm gonna go as far as to talk about Kareem when he's 38, 39, 40, 41. I'm also going to talk about Kareem when he first got in the league, the first 2 or 3 years of his career. I'm actually going to go as far as to talk about Kareem before he even was in the NBA. I'm willing to go that far to make the argument. But the 8 years in his prime, when he wasn't making the finals, some of these years were first, second round exits. Some of these years, like Chris Broussard said, he didn't even make the playoffs.
That's his name,
even
Chris
if we
Broussard.
were to remove the year in which he broke
I
his
knew it
hand
was
and
Chris
that's why he didn't
something.
make the playoffs, there's a year where Kareem didn't even lead the team to a 500 record, and that's why they missed the playoffs. I know some people going to be in the comment section, it was because of division rules. Even if it's true, who cares? Why is a prime Kareem leading a team to a below 500 record? Why is that? That shouldn't be happening. He won 1 championship in the beginning of the 70s with Oscar Robertson on your team. Granted, Oscar was not the same player that he once was before, but with Oscar. And then you didn't win again until Magic came. That's the truth. Somehow just escaped his mind, though. Somehow just escaped Nick Wright's mind. And this is why you can't take him.
Nah, yeah, I be feeling like sometimes, man, they just be having narratives. I mean, or motives. That's a better word for it. Motives when they come on the camera and try to argue these debates, bro. I be feeling like they just have secret agendas they just want to push, or the boss tell them to say something about this guy. They got to do it, they got to make the argument for him, and they gonna do it any way they can. But that's neither here nor there, man. I just feel like
I'm serious.
that's what's going on, man.
Last 8 years, like Chris Broussard said, half of the most talented players in the world, in the country at bare minimum, they weren't even in the league. They were playing in the ABA. So you weren't even playing up against the best talent in the country. And you still couldn't dominate. But that 8-year gap in Kareem's career, from his last championship, to his first championship until the second one, before Magic Johnson came, it just escaped his mind. Oh, man, I don't know how. Nick Wright definitely didn't bring any of that up. That just escaped his mind. 8 years. And that's that, bro. That's dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb, dog. You're just dumb. Okay, this is all right, let's be clear. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The winner of the college basketball
he is going dumb crazy.
This is the dumbest thing. This is dumb. This is dumb. I think anybody with a brain who knows anything about college basketball would know that this is dumb. This is just dumb.
Jordan was voted a better college player than Kareem.
That's
when
ridiculous.
Kareem was by 88-2 and was player of the year all 3 years, won national titles all 3 years. That may be wild. People are underrating Kareem. Is it possible, Wright?
Yes, it is true, but that doesn't mean that your arguments now become valid because of this idiotic rhetoric. But also, going back to what I said about Chris Broussard, like, this is the reason why we can't just go based off of what the masses say or the casuals say, because the casuals and the masses will also say something as dumb as this. So that's the reason why you can't do that. You actually have to argue a legitimate argument. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section below. I love Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he's a great...
And that's the end of this one, my brothers and sisters. Nick Wright, straight chatting out his ass, boy. I ain't gonna lie. But I can't blame him, no, man. He, see how I didn't know, bro, Chris Broussard's name before this? I knew who Nick Wright was. It's a little scheme. You gotta peep game, y'all. It's a little scheme. Like, they do all these analysts, they say dumb things sometimes just to go up, just to get their clout up, you know. Cause I bet we all know who Nick Wright is right now. We all know his face. We all know we all know who he is right now. It helps them. It definitely helps them. So to each his own, man. I'm out of here. If you like this reaction, click on the last one. Turn on Pistol Pete went crazy. Let me just say that. You know what I'm saying? First time reacting to Pistol Pete. Make sure you turn on post notifications. Links in the description, man. And I'm out of here.